Hey team, this is just a quick video to show you how to resize your images. The reason you want to do this is to make sure that users don't have to download a really large image on mobile data if they want to visit the site. Most of the users are going to, not have a ton of internet access potentially, so you don't want to make them download large images and use up all their data on your website. Also, we're going to learn how to resize an image so that it works better for this aspect ratio. So you can see that obviously not on this, my screen is quite wide, but in general, this top image is quite long, it's not very tall and very wide. So we want to make sure that any images you upload are optimized to look good at that size. So if we have a look here, you can see that the image that you used for this is very tall. And the content that you want to actually show is in the middle, and there's a lot of space up at the top and up at the bottom. Also, if we look at the size, you'll see that this is 2,500 kilobytes, which is 2.5 megabytes, which is very large for anyone coming to the site. So this tutorial will help you solve both of these problems. So what you want to do, and we'll leave the link to this. There's this tool called Image Resizer, and basically what it lets you do is it lets you select an image. So if we come here and we select the original image that we want to resize. So it's this one that's 2.5 megs, and it'll load it up and it'll basically present the image here. And what we want to do is we want to crop the image so that we get rid of all the stuff that we don't need in the image and we make it the correct size for all its applications on the website. So we want to obviously take it from being portrait to being more of a landscape, like quite long and narrow rather than tall. And to do that, we're going to use this aspect ratio tool down here. So you load up the image, and you can either drag this like this to crop the image the way you want it, or we can just set a default. And for us, we're going to use 4:3, or I think 4:3. Let's actually do 3:2. Yeah, I think 3:2 is what we want to use. So we're going to do 3:2, and then what we can do is we can just remove this until the content that we want to show on the page, namely the people's faces and as much of the sort of important information as possible, is inside this block. And then not in the grayed out area. All we do then is we just select that, and that's going to crop. Then we're going to resize, and this is really important because this will make the image. So let me just zoom in here. Actually, this will make the image size smaller, and will mean that your users won't waste data loading the image. So what we want to shoot for here is probably, at the moment it's 2,400 wide, which is much too wide. The maximum it's probably going to be on most people's screens is about 1,800, but because of the way the internet works and the way that image scaling and stuff works, we can probably get away with something like 1,200. So if we do 3:2 and the widest angle is 1,200, that'll be perfectly fine. And all you have to do is say 1,200, make sure lock aspect ratio is on, and it will resize that image to be the correct width. Then if we come in and save image, this is really important because how you save the image and the quality of the image will dictate the size, the overall size of the image. So what we want to use is WebP, and WebP is like the new image standard, and it'll make sure that your images are small. We click WebP, and we can maybe take the quality, I think, down to like 80% is totally fine. And then if we calculate the image size, 200 megs, 200 kilobytes. So that's like, that is perfect. We can probably even take this down to something like 60, calculate again, and make sure that like 150, that's really good. So now that we know that this is right, we can calculate image size, and that's 150. We just click save image, and we click, and it'll give us this dialog, and we just click download image. And then it downloads, and here it is. And there's the image, and now you can upload that to the site, to the CMS, and you'll know that it is the right size and the content is correct, and people aren't going to waste data viewing that image.